tonight, way tonight. Better off, I'm gonna find my way tonight, way tonight. Won't you talk to me? I wanna heal your sorrow. Won't you talk to me? We'll make a new tomorrow. Won't you talk to me? We'll make this happen. was wrong to say. I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass. Time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile. Some days there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Some days I'm not myself, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Moving on, moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Some days there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Some days I'm not myself, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You'll see it through. You'll see it through. Eh. You'll see it through. You'll see it through. We're gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We're gonna live forever, forever. The talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You'll see it through. You'll see it through. Eh. You'll see it through. You'll see it through. We're gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We're gonna live forever, forever. The
A pair of jeans, a shirt or two. We didn't pack as if we weren't going back. It doesn't matter if it's true. I've got a feeling love will give us what we lack. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. Yeah. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my fall.
Whatever I want right now. I can. No, I'm doing it.
Oh, well. Anyway.
Oh, let's go. Can you hear the sound now? The sound of my voice. Hello, hello, hello. Let's go and welcome to the first round of the Immortal League playoffs here at Titan Esports. I am Goose, joined here by caster extraordinaire, Cilantro and Anti. And we're hooking up with a little bit of the pre-Champions Q analyst desk here, getting ready for a Mega Mario Kart 7 versus Iceborn White in the first round, the number 1 seed versus the 4th seed. We're going to break down some of these teams to give you a little bit going into the playoffs. And before we even get into these teams, Cilantro, Anti, can you tell me a little bit about just what you've been seeing, how in terms of this league, this Immortal League, has been playing out over the past 7 weeks, right? I know that we have this
Mm-hmm.
like juggernaut that is Omega Mario Kart coming in, but Iceborn White is definitely no slouch here coming in at this fourth seed. They have some incredible players and Snoop Dunk and the Hump and DK Carrot. So can you tell me a little bit more about how this league has been playing out? Has it been a bit more like team play oriented? Have assassins been taken over? Like, what have
Mm.
you been seeing in this casting that has been going off? And Cilantro, I'm wondering like what's going on in your head over there? How has this league been playing out so far?
You know, we've got a Mega Mario Kart 7. Realistically, you can't really predict what they're going to pick when it comes to draft because they will just run anything. I think last time we saw them, they was it the team that whipped out Gwen Jungle last time, Anti? Or
No, that
I'm
was Doga.
Okay, no, that was Doga. But either or, Mario Kart 7, as you know, they have all changed their name to King Coney. So we will never know what they're going to be picking in draft because, well, we never expect them to do something like that. And it's been a little bit since we've seen this Iceborn team on stream, but I'm pretty sure we have seen these two teams play together. And it was a difficult fight in the beginning for Mario Kart 7, and they had to call it back in at the end game. So maybe Iceborn has developed an angle to defeat this Mario Kart 7 team in the late game, or maybe Mario Kart 7 has strengthened their early game and are looking for a snowball sweep.
Well, let's go. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's some things going on there. Anti, what have you seen just kind of like from any team, whether it be from Doga, from Omega
Mm-hmm.
Mario Kart, from Iceborn, like what have you seen just kind of like transpiring in the league? What have been some of the trends that you've been noticing, either in draft or just like team play in terms of that thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a lot of these teams is very interesting. So almost every single team in the league has Smolder somewhere in their draft. But the thing is, it's
uh,
very rare that we actually see Smolder picked up. Basically,
is he
every
nerfed
team's just
yet?
like, hey, we're banning the Smolder, or we're just, just gonna forget he exists, right? So, teams are actively scouting one another, making use of tools like pro comp,
He's
saying like, hey,
nerfed.
if the teams aren't actually making use of Smolder, then why not just go ahead and just disregard him entirely.
He's
Now,
nerfed.
outside of these picks, right, we have Omega Mario Kart 7, who they have a pretty wild assortment of different picks, but a lot of the time it does boil down to team fighting, right? As Cilantro said earlier, a lot of things do kind of tend to fall apart, not necessarily fall apart, but they fall behind a little bit during the laning phase itself. So once the team fighting really starts to pick up is when these guys start to shine. Now, a lot of other teams, for example, I mean, oh my goodness, I think it was Novasphere, where they had very strong individual players, but it's a matter of working together and having everyone on the same page. Meanwhile, you got to these higher tier teams, like for example Iceborn and Omega Mario Kart 7, and they're just working together like well-oiled machines. So it's a matter of really seeing, have these teams come together, because I think Omega Mario Kart 7 hit the ground running, had a huge amount of strength early on in the season from already being able to play really, really well together. Meanwhile, Iceborn, slowly getting together as a team. So now that we're in playoffs, that's when that teamwork really has to come into play.
Absolutely, I feel that. And Cilantro, you're talking about the Smolder being nerfed over there. Definitely will
Yes.
come into play in some of these drafts as well. I think we're playing on the live patch, so Smolder will hopefully not find their way into some of these drafts. But to kind of sit to your point of like how well Mega Mario Kart 7 has been playing together, let me hit you with some of these stats from the last 7 weeks. And it's very interesting when you look at them because Omega Mario Kart 7, I am butchering that right now. Um,
Uh,
as a
I
team,
feel you.
as a team is leading in these categories as a team for the entire league is leading in gold per minute, kills per minute, deaths per minute, and what that means they have the least amount of deaths, not total, but like least amount of deaths per minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and in turn, of course, their KDA is going to be the highest in the league, and then their damage, their gold, and their CS is number one in the league. So they are reigning in all of those categories. However, I'm going to spin this a little bit because Iceborn White, if you look at the individual players, have 3 players sitting in the top 10. And so that's going to be the Hump, Snoop Dunk, and DK Carrot. So there's something about, maybe it's because they actually are just really working together. Maybe it's because they've all changed their name to the same name. But Omega Mario Kart 7 is coming in like with this like flawless almost team play where no individual is actually a star, and they're able to kind of like pass the metaphorical ball around and make sure that everybody eats in this game. Whereas like Iceborn has a few key players that have really kind of like carrying some of that like front loading some of that weight and kind of taking their team over the edge. And it seems as if the difference between these two teams is that Omega Mario Kart seems to be able to kind of go the distance. And that's what I'm seeing in like just the
Hmm.
fundamentals. They're able to kind of keep their vision score. The fact that as a team they're leading in CS, not individually, but as a team they're leading in CS means that they're CSing from the mid game into the late game and continuing all of those consistent things and all those things that they probably are getting drilled into their head from their coach in terms of fundamentals. And I'm wondering now with people like Smolder and some of these other picks, we're having May just kind of pop into the meta. Bot lane is getting some buffs as well. And we're also seeing team fighting really take over. I'm wondering, do you think that will like, do you think Iceborn has enough in the tank with just these kind of three players to really take them over the edge? It is their jungler and their bot lane that is kind of the highlight. And I'm wondering, do you think that
Hmm.
the Hump, Snoop Dogg, and DK Carrot have it in them to kind of separate and devise this team so that they can't work as cohesively together?
Honestly, I think is a big question, especially because if you look at the top lane for Omega Mario Kart 7, right? King Coney, fairly strong player. I mean, as we've seen time and time again, you cannot have weak links when you're playing at the top level, right? And Ice right now, they do happen to be running Fake Smile as their sub in the support role, which means that they're probably going to be gravitating slightly more away from the Maokai that we've seen so many times, and likely more into the Enchanter picks that we see more from Fake Smile. So, I mean, a lot of the times, right, you have to wonder to yourself, can these players, work together against this well-oiled machine? But on the other side, you got Omega Mario Kart 7, right? All these guys, they're playing together, they're having a good time, they're named all the same. Like every single one of them is King Coney. Like obviously they just have some kind of vendetta against the casters, right? But
That synergy.
Yeah.
even if you look at names, right? It's Omega Mario Kart 7, right? We all know what Mario Kart is. We all played it as a kid, right? And it's all about that togetherness, whether or not it's working together or actively sabotaging one another. They're all here to have a good time. Speaking of which, I know you've got a program that's just designed to help kids have a good time.
Yeah, so I actually am the founder of Campino, which is a an overnight summer camp for people aged 9 to 17. We're going to be doing technology and we're going to be teaching programming and filmmaking and pretty much exactly just a good time with a bunch of silly adults in the woods. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
speaking of camp, I want to talk about Snoop Dogg. And I'm wondering if like
Mm.
he's going to have to camp somewhere because coming into this game, he has the kill participation of the number one. He has 89% kill participation on his team. That means in 90% of all of the kills of his team, he has been involved in some way. So he is clearly the playmaker. Nothing really moves without him. Nothing shakes without him. And I'm wondering what kind of lane, what kind of like game plan does he have to have, Cilantro? I'm looking at you. What kind of like game plan does he have to have in the back of his head to like really kind of divvy up this like Mario Kart speed go tag team racing that Mario Kart got going on right now? So like what can Snoop Dogg do in this game to really disrupt this synergy that Mario Kart is coming in with?
Well, it first of all is going to have to come down to their initial draft picks. This Mario Kart 7 team is most likely going to draft something that will topple you in the early game, and then they're gonna, take their support and roam them all the way around the map. So, and just they will constantly fight you 3v1, 3v2, like no matter what, they will fight you. It could even sometimes they'll even fight 1v2 and still end up winning somehow. It's absolutely phenomenal. I don't even know how. But so basically, I tried to pick a bit of a disruptor, something like a Trundle, something like Volibear that like acts as a denier. It just makes sure things don't happen instead of trying to force everything to keep happening. Because if you could shut down this hyperscaling from the Mario Kart 7 team, keep them from being able to play fast, then that's probably where you're going to get your most value. And that'll give time for your team to ramp up and come in for the cleanup behind you.
Absolutely. So kind of like this disruptor. And speaking of disrupting, one other thing that we're trying to do with Campino is we're trying to disrupt these elo sitters that sometimes sit in our league. I know some people have seen some of the comp rules. We're trying to disrupt this elo. So what we're also doing is sponsoring a solo queue ladder. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. You get caught. You know what I'm saying? It's not illegal to get caught, and they got
Evo
caught.
sitters.
Um, So we're trying to disrupt that by kind of encouraging this solo queue ladder. So if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check out that solo queue ladder. And we're giving away free swag and of course $25 in RP to the winners of whoever climbs the furthest this season. Yeah, yeah. So we got custom individual champion hoodies, like the challenger jackets I gave out. The merch, the drip is gonna be way higher than that. But anyway, we got again in this best of 5 coming up. Omega Mario Kart 7 versus Iceborn White. This undefeated Goliath of just like synergy coming in here, and Iceborn White coming in, hoping that they can disrupt and shake and move some things and make their way into the final round of playoffs. Don't go anywhere. We're about to be live with the draft for the first round of the Immortal League playoffs for the winter split of Titan Esports with Cilantro and Anti. Let's go. Let's get in there.
All right. So here we are. I mean, that was a phenomenal analyst test, but right now it's the draft. And so, Cilantro, I've got some very interesting things to think about here when it comes to the draft. So I was looking up a few of the OPGGs right before we got into things. So I'm bad, you're awful. The top laner for Iceborn here. Definitely
I'm bad,
watches
you're awful.
definitely watches Dobby. So for those who aren't aware, very solid analysis league YouTube channel, but because of that does lead to picking up a few kind of niche things, such as the Rek'Sai top. So there's a lot more things that Omega Mario Kart 7 need to be prepared for from ICE, because it seems that they're starting to experiment a little bit with these things, but the question as to whether or not they're willing to bring it out on the stage.
100%. Seems like a lot of experimented things are going to be shut off here. The Hui is going to be banned away. Karthus is going to be banned away from Mario Kart 7 too, but Rel will be picked up. I hope that they have the new Rel skin equipped, because we are playing on the new patch, and I want to see the High Noon Rel skin. I'd love to see Gragas picked up. Okay, I've seen some beef on Twitter about this champion. Like whether or not you build Navori, whether or not you like get full, I don't know what's going on, but there's some beef with that champion. We have an Azir picked up. Is this legal? Is he allowed to be played again?
Yes, Azir's like hella legal.
He's no longer TPing to another Summoner's Rift.
Okay, all right.
What is this bot lane?
We've got Draven, baby. All right, Humphreys Draven already on the table here, and we've got the Rel Orianna. So now we've already got the ball delivery system. We've got the ball. And now we just need a little bit more engage from ICE, because, you know, one engage isn't quite what you want. Braum here, you know, is what's going to be picked up. And honestly, I think Braum's a phenomenal choice here, right? I mean,
agree.
You block off the Rel from following up a lot of things, the Draven as well. Meanwhile, you know, Omega Mario Kart 7 gonna take away a few of the completely unavoidable engages here, like the Vi. Maybe might take away the Nocturne, but with how they are, they're probably gonna take away a top laner here. Okay, so it is also the Nocturne, right? So there's so much that they're trying to remove here. And meanwhile, ICE, they're getting rid of champions that can actively deny them that, you know, ball and that ball combo, right?
Oh.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Shockwave, such a phenomenal ability. You just want to make sure that that does not get denied in the slightest.
Yeah, no, definitely. With combination with Magnet Storm, you're gonna be throwing that on your Rel. She's gonna be feeding in, and it's just gonna be pull, and then you thought you got away, another pull. So not expecting real cleanse to be picked up here from the bot lane, because it's essentially gonna be useless if you go for that. I'd rather probably just gonna be opting in for that Ghost. There will be a Jax picked up. Now this could be picked on over into the jungle. It's still obviously a potential flex pick, but ICE is going to have to showcase their two champions, and that is a Poppy picked up against this team.
Ooh.
I like it so far. We got Poppy. A little bit about me. I think Poppy is great champion design-wise, but I cannot stand her ultimate. I'm sorry. It is the least. It is the least macro. You don't strat planning around it. You don't do anything. You just go, oh, I don't know how to, you know, keep enemy jungler from getting objective before me, so bonk, bye-bye. That's what it is.
Thing you have to
That's
play
what
around.
it is.
What are you talking about?
You have to play around it. You You, as an enemy, you have to play around it. As the Poppy player, you just walk to a fight, press R, everyone's gone, and you get an objective for free. You can't say that's very skillful. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Having a champion whose entire archetype is denial is totally fine. I mean, Janna exists.
Janna doesn't put you on the other side of the map.
Not with that attitude. Anyway,
I mean, hey, Janna
so
rework when?
as we move on, you know, try to get ourselves situated on the Rift itself, I honestly have to give the edge to probably to Ice here, right? So Omega Mario Kart 7, pretty interesting team composition here, but you know, once we're on the Rift, we'll have to see how it actually works out. I do think Ice lacks a little bit of that primary engage, but it should be fine otherwise. Meanwhile, Zeri, I know that you said earlier, right? Zeri, a very interesting pick, you know, very contested as to whether or not you want to be building Infinity Edge or that Quick Blades. And a lot of it just comes down to, can you actually get your autos off, or do you need more survivability, right? And into a team that has triple melee, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Ruden's Hurricane from the Zeri here. Oh, all right, I love this. You know, just gonna be getting a little bit of dancing back and forth. No BM here.
No, you know, a little bit of just jungle. They understand that their game is about to just be hellish because, you know, everybody likes to blame the jungler, so. So they're just gonna, you know, bond over being one of the most hard roles in the game.
Minions have spawned.
But Coney is going to be opting for the Ghost onto the Zeri. I agree with you that the Runins will most likely be coming out. I think that GA is also something that you kind of have to build here as well soon, probably 4th item, because once you get hit with one rail ultimate, well, you're not getting out of the shockwave that's coming like 2 seconds after it, so might as well build something to be able to get back into the fight. You'd like to favor Iceborn here. I'm going to go ahead and take Mario Kart 7 for game 1 here. I don't know, just something about the top side of the map just really tenders well with me. I like the Jax, Renekton, Azir combo follow-up. I think they're going to be really get in and blow you off champions.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it makes sense as to what it is that Omega Mario Kart 7 want to make happen, and that's the strength of Omega Mario Kart 7, right? They always draft very easy to understand compositions, right? You know, it's never a question as to what the plan is, because the plan is we go in, we hit the R button, and we use our hands to hit numbers, right? And that just works out so unbelievably well for a large part of this. It's just a matter of whether or not Ice can execute first, right? Whoever swings first, honestly, is likely going to be the one in charge throughout this game. And when you have Draven, right, it's very difficult to find yourself truly at a deficit, right? Because of his passive, because you just have constant amounts of damage being put out here. So if you have the Wombo from the Orianna and Rel, then Draven should be able to get some free autos off during that entire thing. Meanwhile, DK is getting off a lot of damage in this mid lane.
Yeah, but the Azir's firing back with the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Trying to get, you know, maybe set up a gank there for Jax to come in, but, you know, you talking about firing first and you went into the Draven. I think that's exactly why we see 2 Puff Patty roaming down to the bot side. Once you get 1 kill onto that Draven in the bot lane, it's almost like he gets a double kill right off the back for getting those adoration strikes. He opted for a little bit of a cheater recall there. Is going to be picking up the Cole. It is a very safe lane. Speaking of safe things, this top lane is definitely not safe. I've Badger Awful might be able to come up clutch on top of the Aatrox with the lifesteal. Flashes for it. Oh. No, it'll be King Coney with a first blood. The Crocodile healing a little bit more than the World Ender.
Yeah, I mean, just like that, the Aatrox is going to be dropping it down that first kill, and that's honestly what we anticipate here, but the Poppy, oh my god.
It's a great Shattering Strike, but it will be flashed away with the Zeri. The Ghost is proc 2, and there you see the power of Braum for the bit of peel. They're trying to get this Draven online, but are unfortunately unable to. It will be Jax roaming down through the mid lane. Might be able to catch some of these stragglers out as 2 Puff Patty is looking to clean up that Scuttle Crab. will be able to find it and will retreat to the bot lane for heal, but maybe Jax is going to continue to run them down. Who knows? We see the positioning. He's looking like he wants to go for it. DK Carrot versus Azir. They're both at a quarter of HP. It could be a potential 1 kill here. Could find something, but now maybe it will be a gank from the Jax. It's going to force a flash out of Humphries, but maybe able to pick up Clean's well. Unable to find the kill just yet. It'll be a dash onto King Tony. Jax unable to find him though, and surprisingly enough, neither one of these mid laners has died yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of poke going back and forth between this mid lane. DK Carrot just constantly getting that poke going, but you know, mid Coney is just going to continue to get all of that healing from the fleet footwork. Right, the fact that Azir soldiers now proc fleet footwork is honestly such a huge boon to this mid Coney here. Like, there's just so little that you can do to truly push the Azir out of lane without burning through your mana bar first, which is why you see DK Carrot picking up the boots to try to avoid the Azir, and also picking up the tier in order to be able to get that poke off continually. Right? It's not even a matter of how much damage it does, it's a matter of can you do it consistently. So here it's all about building up that life differential, right? So as long as you can continue, then you should be fine if you're DK Carrot here. But oh wow, King Tony is going super aggressive.
Yeah, wants to find first blood on this Azir, get scaling and stack to that Nashor's Tooth, get that item online. That's going to ramp up the attack speed and allow him to really just shove out these waves and get those roam timers online. But Void Grubs will be picked up and started early for the side of Mario Kart 7. This is really huge when you have a Jax and Renekton on your team. Those champions deal a lot of damage to towers. Jax essentially can be equivalent to Gwen as his counterpart, because they both just bonk towers in like 3 hits and they die instantly. So these are huge pickups. It's going to be up to the side of Iceborn to try and deny this. But we have an Infernal Dragon as our first dragon of the game. I feel like with these bot lanes, unless somehow Humphries can find a kill, both these teams we're not going to have the dragon dead for quite a while here, I feel, because both these bot lanes take a little bit of time to get on. Oh, the Shockwave misses! He dashes forward with the shield, but had to use the Emperor's Divide, uses the flash off of 2 Puff Patty. Jax will be there. We finally have a mid lane first blood, and it goes to mid Coney.
Yeah, I cannot believe that. Incredible stuff for mid Coney. Gonna be able to pick up that first blood. No mana items just yet, so it's really just every single bit of poke from that Azir truly mattered. You know, every tiny thing was just calculated in the right position at the right time, and it pays off, right? First blood, definitely something that you want to be seeing for your mid laner, but not what you want to see for your top lane here.
Oh no, this could be I'm bad, you're off of Slain. One, oh, it will be traded out, but they'll find a dragon on the bot side too. That's some pretty decent value there for Iceborn. There will be the Aatrox losing out on a lot of gold and XP though, as the Blades are going to be proxied by Jax, so not going to be gaining much of anything. He does get a little bit of gold off that, but the Renekton obviously picking up the kill on the top side as well is going to have more gold online in their pocket. Mid Coney maybe finding another angle onto DK Carrot. Has got to be careful because you're already half HP. The Shockwave will be online in about 15 seconds. But holy, those clones do a lot of damage with that recurve mode and blasting one.
Yeah, I mean, so many more autos, but oh my god, Rocky already in the spot lane. Not going to be getting too much going here. Very Coney dashes forward, but you know, not going to get too much.
Gonna try to get those adoration stacks for the Draven online as soon as possible. Try to find at least one winning angle that they can play off here in the early game, as it might be top Coney up against I'm bad you're off. I mean, it's an Aatrox, so no matter what, he's going to be able to fight back. So it's just gonna be okay. If top Coney makes a mistake, maybe crosses dominance too early, maybe forces a fight like this, where the Aatrox will find angles to come back, as Puff Patty's still lingering on this bot side trying to get a kill. I'm bad, you're awful. Eats a turret shot, forces the flash out of top Coney, and oh no, he doesn't know that the Azir is coming up. Will he be able to time this perfectly? We have another backside gank. It'll be Jax Coney coming in from behind. He's going to be able to find Humphries. He can slay this ADC. He may be able to deny those stacks coming up. The adoration stacks will go off anyway. The auto attacks from Draven are just too strong. The Grandmaster at arms does absolutely nothing. And it will be bot Coney training out at least one. So it's a 1-for-1 trade in the bot lane. But the Draven got the better half of that. Dominance and World Ender procced in the top side, but neither of them coming up with a kill. And now Humphries is going to start getting online.
Yeah, it was a 1-for-1 in the bot lane, but as we all know, Draven does not care for 1-for-1s. What Draven cares about are the stacks, and that was so many of those. Going to get cashed in there. A huge influx of gold. A fully completed Essence Reaver for Humphries Draven. Oh my god. That is a 900 gold lead on the Draven alone. Even kills, by the way.
Does have almost a 20 CS lead.
Yeah, but that's the first cash out on Draven. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't even create oh my god, like this doesn't even create a bounty system for Humphries. Like,
No.
I don't know. I'm not
We're
too
gonna
fond
have
of
a
Draven's
big
passive,
fight
to
over
be
these
real
Void
with you.
Growths. You gotta take one more if you're the side of Iceborn to deny the 5 stack, but I don't think they have the positioning or time to be able to. Not looking like they'll be able to get. So they stole 1, so they'll only get 5. I mean, 5 is better than giving them over 6. But maybe this is to fight the once again. No, I was kind of hoping we were gonna have a fight there, but it looks like everybody's just back off.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's all about denying what you can, not pushing too far forward. And in the bot lane, on the other hand, it is still going to be that 1v1. But Zeri tends to struggle into champions like Draven.
Speaking of making life hell, they want to engage on time. Badger off with this Aatrox far behind. That's a huge slice and dice life steal, but cannot find 2 Club Patty. Kickling that one up. The Aatrox finds 1. The Aatrox finds 2. It's 3 and 2 for the World Ender. And now, I mean, that character's gonna eventually come online here soon too. Aatrox and Draven you're going up against, and they're pretty fed. It's looking scary.
Absolutely looking scary here. Now, Mega Mario Kart 7 in a little bit of trouble. Mid Coney might be going down here. No, is going to be doing fine just to survive. Meanwhile, Cole Pop for Humphries here, which means a ton of extra gold, because that's all we wanted, right? We just wanted Draven to have more gold, right? Champion does not have enough gold in his kit, right? But, you know, all memes aside, Humphries has been doing phenomenally on this Draven. Has been doing great in the solo 1v1s, in the 1v2s, you know, just allowing Fake Smile to just get around the map. And I know I said that with Fake Smile, we were likely going to be seeing a little bit more Enchanter play. The Rel has been working out so exceptionally well. I didn't necessarily expect to see the Rel as the first choice for Fake Smile here, but I am definitely welcoming it, and so is Iceborn.
Oh yeah, to see how that Rel can get online. Here's another dragon will be spawned up. It's the Chem Tech. It'll be Iceborn's second of the match. Humphries is back in the lane. Is going to be rubbing up towards that one. It could be 3v3 here, but they do not want to be fighting that Draven right now. Only a Kirchi's Noonsliver online, and your mid laner is a little preoccupied trying to shove out a wave. So the second one will be picked up for free. And now you gotta find a way to slow the bleeding Mario Kart 7. You have a Jax that's a little bit ahead of Super Fatty when it comes to the farming. Is about 4, maybe 5 cans ahead of that Poppy so far, but Poppy has been finding angles across the map to come online, as it'll be Jungle Coney going up against 2 Puff Patty there, just trying to shove them out, maybe steal a couple chickens on the way out, you know, go ahead and rob that KFC, but not going to be able to just find much of anything. And this mid lane battle is really where the game should start shifting here, because while that Nashor's Tooth is online, I mean, DK care, it's an Orianna. It's going to do damage anyway, so the roam timing that these two can find are really where the game is going to start shifting.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, in the spot lane, no roams needed just yet. It's just going to be constant contesting from these two. Look at that gold on the Draven. There's just so much here. And I mean, there's something to be said about comfort picks. And oh my god, speaking of which, we got a pick in this mid lane going. King Coney going to try to pick off DK Carrot one more time, but I'm not sure how much more time is going to be needed for DK Carrot to get back into this game, because that's so difficult for the side of Iceborn here. Their mid laner is not having a great time.
Definitely not, but I'm at your awful kit. Pops the World Ender for this? This is interesting. You're under the tower. You do get the shutdown, but that could have went real bad. You made a risk-reward play. You come up with a shutdown, but look at your top side. You're losing out a lot too. And oh my, Humphreys finds another Adoration stack drop on this bot side onto the Zeri with the Whirlwind. Maybe is able to clean up, support Coney, but is not able to. This game is looking really good for Iceborn so far. But the topside turret has fallen. The One Ender was already proc, so the Renekton should know this and might look to fight the Aatrox. Nope, spots DK Carrot, so upside.
Yeah, I mean, that Whirling Death, you know, had the Zeri gone down afterwards, then, you know, maybe that Whirling Death has the amount of stacks on it to get that execute on to the Braum. But, you know, unfortunately for Humphreys, Draven might cheat, but not quite that hard, right? Meanwhile, as I was trying to say earlier, right, there's something to be said about comfort picks. There was a lot of different little things that I saw that Iceborn was trying out in solo queue, you know, trying to pick up new things, trying to see what works best. Meanwhile, you know, when their back is against the wall, it is going to be Humphreys Draven. It is going to be Fake Smiles Rel. You know, two picks that they haven't necessarily been playing so much of really recently, but very strong picks in the right capable hands that they have had as comfort picks for such a long time. I mean, for both of these players, it's their most played champions.
For sure. And, you know, I 100% agree that when in doubt, whip out your best. And speaking of DK Carrot, not looking your best there as you're in a 1v3 scenario. That's going to go about as you expected. The bot lane turret will end up falling as Humphreys has moved over into the mid lane 2-0. Already has, I mean, he has 2 kills and 2 items. Like, this is just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of whatever it is, these towers are just suffering right now, making huge use of those Void Grub stacks here. Meanwhile, you know, King Coney and King Coney going to stay down in that bot lane. Meanwhile, King Coney in this top lane going to be a little bit in trouble.
Maybe Fake Smile looking for something. Humphreys has the Whirling Death online. Maybe they could get some CC knockup they could execute onto the Braum. But they're going to opt to play it safe. They've got the game in the palm of their hands right now. Coney Jax has been farming left, right, and center. I mean, that's more than 5 camps he's up on the enemy jungler right now. But it's not proving to come to life just yet. Only having that Titanic Hydra online, maybe needs to build into the Sundered Sky next. Get something else online, get something else going to help mitigate the damage that's coming out in these team fights. First items will be finally coming across the board for most of the members of Mario Kart 7. The static shift for the Zeri. Just, you know, help get that farm up, try and at least negate the gold lead as much as possible. One shot a wave, move on, one shot another wave. We have a soul point dragon spawning here. It was an ocean dragon, so definitely don't want to give 2 of those over to Iceborn's team when they have an Aatrox on the other side. And a Night Spell will be picked up first, as Coney Jax will be able to find this Aatrox. One Ender will be procced as well as this Grandmaster at Arms, and it'll be up to the Crocodile Coney to come down and help, as this Aatrox is taking no damage. Is forced to burn the Flash Avengement, though, over time, as he sees 4 members have retreated. But this is a horrible macro play, because now this team of Iceborn just waltz into the bot side river and takes this dragon, respectively, for free.
Yeah, I mean, trying to burn out that flash there and, you know, try to burn out a kill definitely makes a lot of sense if the dragon isn't available on the other side of the map. Meanwhile, you know, mid lane tower going to be taking quite a bit of damage here, likely going to be going fully down as DK Carrot cannot clear it in time. That Unbreakable from King Coney on that Braum. Honestly, super helpful there, trying to make sure that the ball cannot get into position to clear out that wave. And there's very little that DK Kart can do there. I mean, at this point, right, Omega Mario Kart 7 a little bit behind in terms of tempo, but far from it in terms of gold. When you pick up 3 towers early on, you're definitely going to be finding yourself in a good position here. Meanwhile, you know, Iceborn, they are relying on Humphreys to get them over that rough spot here. You know, try to make sure that the Draven continues to pick up as much gold as possible, as many stacks as possible here. I mean, I don't know just how much adoration Humphreys has built up just yet, but if the crowd is anything to go off of, it's definitely quite a bit. 120.
Oh!
You know, oh!
They making a play on the DK Carrot. The shockwave will come down. The shield not nearly enough, nor nearly enough damage to trade out 1-for-1. The flash out of mid Coney to help set that one up, but the mid lane turret will fall on the other respective side. And now we see the reinforcements are starting to slowly funnel down the bot side river. Will they be able to stop it in time? It will be the rolling death. It cancels the recall on the mid Coney, and now you're gonna have to fight for your life. A TP will be coming out from the Renekton in the top side to at least nibble the numbers. Will they be able to trade out 1-for-1? No! The Aatrox healing is just so damn good. Fake Smile has to burn the flash as Dominance may be able to trade out one onto Puff Patty, but he's not able to clean up the kill just yet. Now turning the sights onto this Aatrox. Does get a shutdown, so gets one for his troubles and for his TP. But it's not looking very good for Mario Kart 7. They gotta find an angle back into this game somehow. And the best way I can see it is get Zeri 3 items.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we say here. Omega Mario Kart 7 are currently leading in terms of gold. There's so much standing gold for the side of Iceborn here. Yeah, I mean, there's still that bot tower. There's still these inner towers here. Meanwhile, Omega Mario Kart 7, the number one thing that they've been doing in every single one of these scenarios is finding a way to push for more tower damage, right? You know, whether or not they actually get the tower isn't the important part to them. It's whether or not they can get the damage off on the tower so they can pick those towers up later. Speaking of which, look at that mid lane, right? That inner tower, going to be able to pick that one up very easily. Don't have to overextend for anything. You know, all 5 brain cells of Coney working together in tandem, trying to make sure that everything works out just fine in the end as they're slowly getting over this rough early point, right? I mean, Draven always going to be a menace in the early game. It's not like he's not going to be a menace later in the game, but you're going to be able to commit more towards him, right? You know, you've got the Renekton, you've got the Jax, you've got the Azir, all of these champions incredibly strong backline threats. Meanwhile, the Zeri is going to be able to start pumping out so much damage across the entirety of the team. It's likely going to be the Phantom Dancer into Infinity Edge as well. So that means that, you know, since you have got the Braum on your side, you're not going to be able to deny the Zeri damage across everyone.
We have an interesting 1v1 here. The Emperor's Divide might have helped mid-Coney find the kill. I mean, you might have that shield to stop out with the Edge of Night to stop some abilities, but you can't stop yourself from getting pushed. So you're going to get pushed straight into the tower. And, you know, another thing that you mentioned, respectively, it doesn't seem like Mario Kart 7 was in a great spot. But if you look at the game as a whole, they have a gold lead. Yes, they're down dragons. They have 5 void grubs, and with that, they accomplished their goal. They took mostly all the towers with only the top tier 2 left standing. And now this team of Iceborn has got to find an angle to kind of shove back, keep shoving these waves back, and that's where Zeri comes in, having the static shield. She's going to be able to shove every single wave at the speed of sound, or speed of light, if you want to get a little technical here, as she shoots lightning bolts. And force this Iceborn team to respond to those waves, and that's going to open up objectives as they're looking to take their first dragon of the game. The Baron on the other side has spawned out, so they got to be careful if this Iceborn team does decide to roam for that one. But maybe they're feeling that they have the team fight advantage, and this is what I was about to get to here in a minute. Feel like we haven't had a full 5v5, so we really don't know which team is coming out on top right now until we can see that full 5v5, which we should finally be getting here, and we're just waiting for one of these members to make that play. I don't see the ball on top of the rail just yet, so they're not staged properly for a fight Iceborn at the moment, and the river positioning is currently in favor of Mario Kart 7, and I'm looking at support Coney with that Braum ulti can hit a multitude of knockups. But somehow they're going to have to shut down I'm Badger Awful. We have many splits here. We could go for some sort of pincer if we want. If we are Mario Kart 7, just waiting for someone to call that go button. A dragon has already been started, and this looks like an engage fake smile. You're already a quarter of HP. The Emperor's Divide, they're going to find the support. They shut down that Magnet Storm, and it is the dominance inside of 3 of them. Is shredding up the Aatrox, and I guess there goes our answer, as the only member that ends up falling is the Azir. Mario Kart 7 looked unstoppable in that team fight, and really, ADC support, ADC Coney might as well be called support Coney, because I mean, you did pick up a couple kills, but that Zeri ultimate is what really took all those health bars from getting finally chunked down to 0.
Yeah, I mean, look at that team fight. You saw the Jax just constantly on top of Humphries. There was so little that the Draven could really do there. I mean, you can even see right now, right, trying to pick up that Lord Dominic's regards as quickly as possible. It just doesn't feel like he's able to do enough damage there, as Humphries is going to continue to try to keep the team in a decent position. But now that the Baron's picked up, the gold lead has absolutely ballooned. Before, it was just something that was explained away by, oh, well, you know, Iceborn just haven't picked up a lot of the standing gold. Meanwhile, now they're so far down, the objective bounties are here. It is a 7,000 gold difference between these two teams. Mega Mario Kart 7 just playing absolutely phenomenally into some of Iceborn's most cherished comfort picks.
Yeah, and this is what I was trying to get at the analyst desk, is this Mario Kart 7 team is, you may feel like you're in a position where you're beating them, but then all of a sudden they show you that you're not. Like, and that's kind of, I mean, they fooled me. In these little spits of fights here and there across the rift, they were not winning out. It looked like that this Iceborn team was winning out. DK was pretty strong, putting in a lot of damage. Humphries obviously already had 2 working on that 3rd item already. And Aatrox was casually just 1v3ing with the World Ender. We go in, then you just sit back, take a moment to breathe and analyze the map as a whole, and you realize it had been 15 minutes and all the towers were taken. And you're like, okay, when did this happen? And then they go into a team fight and Mario Kart 7 just decimates them, and then you kind of are sitting there baffled, like, I thought we were winning, and then this team just shows you, no, you're not winning.
Yeah, it's a rough world to live in here, but meanwhile, Jax Coney just gonna walk on in, nothing too crazy. Oh my god, never mind. Speaking of crazy.
Puff Patty is forced to burn out that flash. I mean, it was, he was a little bit late with the Emperor's Divide to try and cut off the escape. The thought was there, just a little bit late on the execution. That would have been a baller of a play there by Jax Coney and Azir Coney. But yeah, I feel like we have an end game angle so far. 4-1 split. Nobody has responded to this Renekton, which means the turret will eventually fall. There will be a cannon minion wave coming in, so the inhib might go wide. Speaking of false smile, the Magnet Storm finds absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, it would be Crocodile Coney in the back line with the dominance. He's going to go ahead and flash on the carry, trying to clean up that kill, but is unable to find it just yet, as so far it's 2-0. A double kill for the Zeri. Will we see the Pentakill Warlord champion come to life in the first game of the series? No, it would be Azir Coney stealing up at least one of the kills, and in 27-minute fashion, Mario Kart 7 will be taking game number 1 of our best of 5 series when they decide to eventually hit the Nexus and stop feeding their stats and hitting champions. And this game will be over as they take it in a pretty clean 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking so good for the side of Iceborn for so long, but in the end, it's the power of friendship that takes on over, right? As we said before, Omega Mario Kart 7, they have strong individual players, but that's not where their team shines. It is in that team play, in working together for those mid-game team fights, that macro, right? Where, I mean, there's certain times where they'll just, drop out on one big objective on one side of the map, so that way they can get more tower damage, right? They knew, hey, we have 5 stacks of the Void Grubs. We're going to try to get as much tower damage as possible. We'll be able to just put so much gold into our wallets that the stats from the Dragon just won't matter. And, game number 1 going over to Mega Mario Kart 7. And that's on some of Iceborn's strongest comfort picks here. So we're going to have to see how things do change out in the later stages of these playoff games. But In the meantime, don't go anywhere because we've got a banger of a series on our hands, it seems, as Omega Mario Kart 7 continue their undefeated streak.
And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You'll see it through. You'll see it through. Eh. You'll see it through. You'll see it through. We're gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We're gonna live forever, talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You'll see it through. You'll see it through. Eh. You'll see it through. You'll see pair of jeans, a shirt or two. We didn't pack as if we weren't going back. It doesn't matter if it's true. I've got a feeling love will give us what we lack. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. Yeah. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights. Tomorrow feels a year away, like the seconds, the beginning and the end. But if in time it's yesterday, your picture's gonna bring it home to me again. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights.
the day, eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time, buying things online, and it's not like we need them. We don't need them. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I were safe and sound. And we slow down. For you and I were safe and sound. We were on the run, rocking around the clock. Now all we need is right here in front of us. In front of us. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I were safe and sound. Can we just slow down? And we just waste another day. Eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time, buying things online, it's not like we need them. Safe and sound. Can I be your star tonight? You fill my soul with light the day we met. I don't wanna leave your side, no. Have me by your side when the sun sets. I hope you'll still want me, I hope you'll still need me a million years from now. The seasons are changing, the nights ever fading. It's time we left the ground. Let's leave for an eternity. Sail across the lights beyond the sky. I'll be with you eternally. Guided for your love and keeps me high. Keeps me high. Can I be your star tonight? You fill my soul with light the day we met. I don't wanna leave your side, no. Have me by your side when the sun sleep for an eternity. We'll sail across the lights beyond the sky. I'll be with you eternally.
Alrighty. We are back, ready for game number 2. And we're ready to see some changes be made for one of these two teams to come out on top. Maybe Mario Kart 7 takes a quick 2-0, maybe not. We see nothing has changed so far, but draft has just started.
Yeah, I mean, draft has just started. We're still taking away a lot of the comfort picks here, right? This time, Humphreys Draven is also going to be taken away. Like I said, comfort picks on comfort picks are going to be the ones denied here, right? The Hui, the Draven, the Rengar, the Fiora. None of these picks are particularly meta. I mean, maybe you could argue Fiora, but none of these things are things that you necessarily see a ton of in the draft itself, in, you know, competitive play draft, right? You know, Poppy, once again, going to be taken away. Omega Mario Kart 7 just playing pure denial from any of these picks. And now on blue side with Omega Mario Kart 7, I would not be that surprised to see the Smolder. I know he did just get banned, but, you know, not banned, sorry. Did just get nerfed, but who knows? Meanwhile, it is the Jinx pick up instead here, which picking Jinx this early with Vi on the table means that you have to be very, very prepared and ready. So the Zeri as a response means that we're going to be getting late game hyper carry versus hyper carry, and there is the Vi I was talking about here. I mean, at this point, you just take like a Tom Kench or, you know, Milio, something that will either keep your Jinx far enough range away or, you know, disengage things in a way. So that way the Jinx will be fine getting ulted up by the Vi here. And you might even pick up a Maokai, right? But okay, it is going to be the Nautilus. Instead of playing defensive, Omega Mario Kart 7 has decided to opt to just go balls to the wall, full on offense.
Yeah, and I think that the Nautilus Xin Zhao is a very decent pickup there for, you know, keep Jinx at a distance and keep these heavy engaged champs away from her and allow her to get that attack speed scaling online as much as possible. We're going to see the Azir's already banned out with that Xin Zhao. Definitely two champions that want to play together, but will no longer have the capability to be able to do so. I like that we see Iceborn has opted for the Zeri on the red side this time. So we're going to see if they can, you know, do exactly what ADC Coney was able to do in the last game, but who knows? We'll see. That Talia will be rounding out that mid lane. This is always a staple pick when you're going up against a Xin Zhao. Just keeps him from being able to engage onto your team. So yeah, and she's just, I mean, Talia just does a ton of damage because who knew? Throwing rocks at people hurts.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, all she wants to do is throw another rock, and right now, I's gonna throw a rock into mid Coney's champion pool. Gonna get rid of the Nico. Gonna get rid of the Azir. You know, more of these champions that are just wombo on wombo, and that is just a composition where if you are a Jinx player, you do not want to see these champions. You do not want to be dealing with a Vi or an Alistar. I mean, at this point, you might even have like something extra on that top lane to make this a living hell here. But the Vladimir. Okay, Vladimir pick up here. I'm going to be guessing that's going towards that mid lane. It could also be in the top lane in order to deny a tank pick, but instead is going to be the Renekton. Once again, this time blind picked in there. You know, it's not going to be a flex counter pick sort to deal here, but there's the Jax for I'm bad, you're awful. So Renekton Jax is going to be the matchup that we do end up seeing.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with that. It's a very staple 1v1. I mean, that's what we see all the time, like 90% of the time in topside. Aatrox, Renekton, Jax, three champions that are picked a majority of the time in that lane. Yeah, Cassante. Yeah, Cassante always has been picked, but I'm very stoked about this Alistar pick. It's very interesting with the Zeri because Zeri's not very much of an early game like Alistar is in lane, but you know, he can help her stay alive so she can get active later on in the game. I'm stoked for this Vladimir. I don't understand why it was picked, but you know, maybe Mario Kart 7 is just about to show us because we are about getting onto the Rift.
Yeah, I mean, so Cilantro, I can shed a little bit of light on this Vladimir pick here. So Vladimir as a champion, honestly, I think does totally fine into the Talia, right? Because a lot of Talia is going to just be, hey, can I get this poke off? Can I make it stick, right? And you cannot make poke stick onto Vladimir. Right, there's just nothing that you can do on this planet
True.
except, remove the ability to queue minions, maybe? Like, if you could deny and, like, as you could in, like, Dota or something like that, then maybe you can do that. But, in the meantime, top lane, once again, just not gonna get any BM, just gonna chill out between these two. But, yeah, so, Vladimir. So, one, does fine into the Talia, always going to be able to scale up just fine in that mid lane. Two, really, really important big thing, right? Does not have dashes, right? So the Talia is not going to be able to deny any of Vladimir's escapes. Three, Vladimir's biggest escape is running away really fast. Speaking of which, DK Carrot gonna run away real fast after flashing out of that one, but is running away really fast while untargetable. And this untargetability is the most important part because you can use your pool to dodge out of Vi's ultimate. So once you hit level 6, once Vi hits level 6, it's not really any extra threat because in any other scenario, right, where it's like Vi Talia, or Pantheon to something like that, right? You're just going to be absolutely demolished every time that the Vi comes mid because she's just going to constantly be able to hit R on you and you just struggle there. Vladimir does not have this problem.
You make very much valid points there, Anti. And we're gonna see if this Mario Kart 17 can put them to work. Top Coney once again on the Crocodile. We got Crocodile Coney in the top side. I'm very stoked to see where Jin Zhao can get online. I feel as though Vi has an early advantage when it comes to jungle ganking. If the Jin Zhao goes for early invades, I think the Vi will eventually win out in the 1v1, especially when they get to level 3. She gets those autos off, the empowered autos offline. But we're gonna see the Vladimir has already opted for a Darksteel start. Those looking for potentially some mid lane ganks to be coming their way to help get that online.
Yeah, meanwhile on top lane, we're seeing a lot of really good trading coming in from Top Coney. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. Meanwhile, I'm Bad You're Awful is going to be opting for the Grasp Jacks, which means that you're just going to be looking to trade every now and then, right? I mean, the Conqueror versus the Grasp means it's just going to be long extended trades versus the short ones, as in bot lane, this is looking like a different picture from what we saw the last time. It is no longer going to be Humphreys just taking over the entirety of this lane. It is going to be very much more back and forth, is what I would say, if there wasn't already a slight CS lead for Omega Mario Kart 7. So things are definitely shaping up a little bit more differently. I mean, Zeri is a very strong champion once she gets a hold of those items, but Jinx's early laning in terms of raw consistency is nothing to be overstated. I mean, you have so much ability to control the wave and just control your opponent's trading patterns by poking down constantly using the AoE from your rockets on those minions.
Definitely do not want to get AD Sakari Coney online here. Humphreys
Oh,
not going to have as much gold as previous, as Snoop Dogg going for an early gank. Not going to be able to find much off of that. I'm Bad You're Awful forced to sprint the flash, I think, after spotting Jungle Coney coming in off of a ward there. Maybe trying to get a little bit of topside prio as he's looking to clean up those Void Grubs once again, spawning in here at the 5-minute mark. And, a tower galore for taking left, right, and center in the last game as... Oh, there's that puddle that you're talking about. Tried to snipe it with that good old knock up, but unable to find it there. We see level 4s coming out. They want to push this engage.
Oh
and
my
there
God.
is going to be how support Coney is going to keep this Jinx alive. That right there.
yeah, that dredge line was so unbelievably well timed, just completely denying that headbutt. Meanwhile, the mid lane, oh, this is completely different.
Yeah, it'll be Jungle Coney maybe finding out a kill on the carrot. And it'll be first blood over to the Vladimir. Is the lifesteal enough to go for 2 though? Knows it will be another Vault Breaker landing. Is going to be able to go unstoppable, run away the flash forward for it. No, it will be a double kill for Snoop Dogg. Starting out early this game is Team Iceborn once again. They come out strong in the early game with a jungler that can benefit from it.
Yeah, and this time around, you know, it is Iceborn's main jungler going to be taking the stage. Snoop Dogg, who, you know, we were told earlier, right, has an 89% kill participation on the board here. Meanwhile, in the spot lane, trying to reduce that KP.
Oh, the Humphreys doesn't get it. Oh, unfortunato. You flash Ghost for the kill, but don't get it. You know, you were just mentioning that Humphreys was not going to be dominating the bot lane. I feel like even on the Zeri, he just doesn't care. He's just going to be dominating anyway.
Yeah, meanwhile in this top lane, you know, King Coney in a good position.
It will be the Master at Arms. No dominance online just yet for Crocodile. Coney will be traded out. No! It is the gank in time for the 2v1 win out for Jungle Coney. And now is going to potentially go for that trade-off onto those good little Void Grublings, as the first dragon will be once again taken by Iceborn this game.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, you can see that Omega Mario Kart 7, what they really care for is the gold available. Right? It's not a matter of these meager early stats. It's a matter of how consistently can we put ourselves in a position where we can pick up gold. And Void Grubs are so helpful for that, especially early on before all of the plates are down. Meanwhile, I'm Bad You're Awful is just continually being a pest here, trying to make sure that this Renekton can't go back and buy anything with that newfound fortune, as the Jinx is just going to continue to farm up. Still does have a lead here as far as the gold goes. Does not pick up a cull though, so this is going to slowly turn into a good position for Humphreys. But you know, as I was trying to say earlier, right, now we have Snoop Dogg on the table, one of the strongest junglers in the entire league, a huge focal point for the team. I was honestly surprised to see how well Ice did without Snoop Dogg in that last game here, because it's a completely different playstyle. Instead of the Poppy, instead of Denial, it is going to be Snoop Dogg playing that super high octane jungle moment, because you know this is what we expect to see. And oh my lord, so much damage in the top lane already going out.
Yeah, the Master at Arms going to save you just for a little bit for the dominance. Is going to flash forward. One more tick, is able to fly in that one. I think you're going to want to Vault Breaker away, because the lifesteal on the Crocodile will be a little bit too much for you to handle. You know, I feel, you know, I think I'm Bad You're Awful had the Sheen going into that fight, so was going to, you know, try and push out that lead, with the dominance just coming online a little bit stronger, as we have another good Bush Wookiee invade coming out to give first blood in this bot side over to ADC, or first blood for the AD carries. My bad, I forgot that. Fake smile and putting it with the ignite earlier. Gonna get this Jinx online. Now they want to clean up and push this into some more tower plate gold, but now ADC Coney is fighting back.
ADC Coney gonna be able to pick up that first tower plate as well there. I mean, so much gold influx into the Jinx here. Definitely going to be a fully finished Noon Quiver at the very least. The question is, you know, do you split off for a cull? Do you just pick up more damage? It is going to be more damage, likely going to be moving in towards that Storm Razor, because, you know, like I said, there's so much point and click, there's so much rough champions to have to deal with as a Jinx here. You just want to be able to be in a position where you are not in trouble, right? The two things that can stop a Vi on a Jinx in terms of the engage is either one, you know, making sure that the Jinx never actually gets truly engaged on with something like a Tahm Kench, or just keeping the Jinx so far away from the enemy team that the Vi has to be completely separated and there is no follow-up, right? And extra move speed definitely helps with that.
Gotta agree. I actually was kind of surprised to not see the Swifties coming out on the Jinx. I feel like that could have been a definite pickup here. I mean, I understand, you know, 80 carry, you go, you know, the attack speed boots, you know, makes sense. But just in regards to what could happen, I think Swifties could have been an option. Especially because, well, Jinx, you scale attack speed like anyway off of your passive, so it's just something that could be done. Somebody can research it and roast me on Twitter all you want if you want to. But support Coney potentially going to be caught out here. Snoop Dogg's going to be able to take that blast cone and come over the wall. Realizes that they're dead, just caught out a little bit, maybe going for some vision or something. Humphrey's finding their first kill as well, so looking to solidify somewhat of a gold lead if possible, can bounce that CS back into their favor. And now they're looking to go straight into a mid-side gank. I don't know if Pool is on the line. Are they going to commit to this? No, he's not. And now this might be King Coney mid lane looking for a bounce back angle. As you know, he has that life steal. Would love to be able to take Vi's blood there to heal back up, but not able to find much.
Yeah, I mean, as well, if you look into that inventory, we've already got tier 2 boots on that Vladimir. I mean, we got move speed out the wazoo. Dredge line going on in here. Face Smile might be in a little bit of trouble.
Maybe as mid Coney comes in too, they want to go for a full 6 stack of the Void Grubs. Is going to have 4. It'll be top Coney coming down too. 1v1 in the bot side as the Azeri ultimate will be committed, but ADC Coney seems to be winning out on this one. Full 6 Void Grubs will be picked up this time for Mario Kart 7. I don't think it differentiates that much with the between 5 and 6. I think it does the same thing, really. But this time
adds one more Void Grub line on.
One more little pet. DK Carrot might be dead here. Mid Coney going for the kill, unable to find it though. A flash headbutt ignite coming down, maybe thinking that the tower shot is going to be enough to help kill that one. I've got to respect mid Coney there, going for a little bit of a limit test, and now it'll be Crocodile Coney. Maybe trying to pull this Jax in to go for a little bit of fight, but I think he's a little bit smarter than that and is aware that Jungle Coney is in the bush somewhere, but they might go for the tower dive anyway. Jungle Coney has spotted out, and will they commit to this? They don't have anything to really stop Jax from running away, though.
Yeah, I mean, I know you asked earlier, right? I mean, what really does the 6 Void Grubs do over the 5 Void Grubs? And one thing I do have to say, right? So Omega Mario Kart 7 are honestly a team that utilizes Void Grubs so unbelievably well, right? I mean, last game we saw them with 3 pushing in that bot lane with, you know, King Coney, and King Coney. Utilizing those 5 stacks of Void Grubs, you know, allowing them to spawn 3 Grublings, and that'll allow them to take almost the entire tower. Meanwhile, you know, this bot lane fight is going to just be completely different from the last game.
Oh, most definitely a knockoff. Snoop Dogg's going to be able to help find that kill out, but ADC Coney is still alive and kicking. Can get 1 assist off onto this Alistar, maybe potentially. Might have pushed a little bit too far forward. It is mid lane Coney helping sway this fight back around. Double kill for him, maybe looking for the triple. No, it'll be ADC Coney cleaning up that one. That's going to get your Dark Shield specs ramping back up. And, you know, you were just mentioning that the bot lane fight's going different, but I feel like with this Jinx and with this Vladimir, a lot of these fights are going to start looking like they're going in the favor of Iceborn, and then these 2 champions are going to wrap up towards the end of the fight and absolutely sway it back into their favor, as Humphreys should potentially be traded out here off the bot lane aggro trade out. But yeah, I'm really scared right now going against this Jinx Vladimir, because you think you're going to be winning fights and then all of a sudden you're dead.
I mean, it's not even just a matter of thinking that you're winning. It's a matter of how unbelievably quickly things can turn around, right? One single kill, one single opportunity means that the Jinx gets to reset. And now she's moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, firing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. That trigger figure going absolutely crazy. And, you know, top Coney going a little bit crazy with how many people are showing up in the lane here, but still going to stay composed, still going to stay in control here. Has a fully built Eclipse already completed. Meanwhile, Jinx, okay, this is a very particularly interesting build path. So I do believe that it is the rapid fire cannon. Sorry, not rapid fire cannon. Oh my god. I mean, nothing really to say here. That's just a dead crocodile.
He almost traded 1 for 1.
Almost, but I mean, almost only matters in horseshoes and hand grenades. And right now, Carrot is almost going to survive.
I don't know about almost that in that scenario. I don't even know about Humphreys get, oh, okay, no, that's an almost. That there's an almost. Vladimir almost killed both of them. Just a little bit more in his pocket in terms of items, and he probably would have won out in the 1v2. Hey, Jungle Coney, see if he can go for the Rift Herald snipe here. Going for it, is unable to clean it up though. Respect the play though. Yeah, I would have gone for that if I was the jungler too, but he's casually 1v2ing right now, actually. Doing a good chunk of damage.
Casually 1v2ing and casually going to be going down here. But as I was trying to say earlier before, they so rudely interrupted by making things happen on the map. I mean, imagine being proactive. Right?
League players, my guy.
Very interesting build path coming out here from the Jinx. So that is the static shiv into what I'm expecting to be a Kraken Slayer. I don't know about this one. I mean, like, usually you would anticipate seeing literally any other Noon Quiver item, right? I mean, Kraken Slayer makes sense, but the static shiv, Jinx already has Hello Wave Clear, so it's a little bit surprising to see, all things considered here. But, I mean, now you're sitting on a decent chunk of crit chance here. I mean, I believe that's 45%. So likely going to be looking to pick up that Infinity Edge pretty soon here, as this Crocodile is just trading back and forth, does not care about these tower shots.
No, if I was him, I would not particularly care either, to be honest. But, you know, you want your tower gold, makes sense. And you are one level up on your opponent. Could look for a kill here. You have your Eclipse. It's Eclipse versus Trinity Force. It'd be, that's a pretty hard hitting queue. I don't think I would fight that actually. But we do have Soul Point Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. Once again, Iceborn in position to take this, as it will be top Coney getting flashed onto as the Grandmaster of Arms. One more slice of this. No, so this top lane battle is so close. With a rocket cleanup though. Oh no, it misses. Goes barely wide, but Iceborn in a position with the TP from their top laner, not really like he wants to take that unless he's TPing from spawn, which he is recalling here, to go ahead and go for that. They were looking to take Soul Point here, respectively, like last game. Well, like last game, they took Soul Point and still lost. So maybe they have an angle that they can come out on top this time around. Who knows? We'll see as Snoop Dogg closer to the tower. Very interesting play. Has to flash out. And there goes Jinx getting one assist. Trying to run down this little moo cow. Is able to find two. Looking for potentially three. The Treadline's going to come down. It's a triple kill for the 80 carry. Going forward on the Humphreys. Looking for more. Finds no more. There's not allowed to have a single penta in this game, man. They keep stealing each other's kills.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like the age-old adage, if your penta could be stolen, it was not yours. As this Jinx is just going to continue on a warpath. 6 kills on the Jinx, 6 kills on the Vlad. I mean, 12 out of 16 kills for the side of Omega Mario Kart 7 going to be going directly onto the carries, exactly where they want these to be. And look at the use of these Void Grubs here. Snoop Dogg had such a good flank, such a good opportunity, but there's just not enough damage on the side of Ice to make those plays truly work just yet. I mean, this team lives and dies by the jungle plays here, and Snoop Dogg definitely looking to make something happen, but maybe it's a little too late.
I have to disagree with you there. I'm sorry. King 80 carry Coney did all of the damage to Humphreys there, and mid Coney just walks up and presses Q. It was definitely his penta. It was definitely his penta. But speaking of, King 80 carry Coney in another position to get another penta, but no, it may be Vladimir's turn to go for the penta. Has the ghost proc, unable to find anything coming up there, but there will be a Rift Herald spawning in 30 seconds, and with a Jinx that has 3 items already and 6-0 before 20 minutes, they might go to kill this thing on spawn.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you got triple items on this Jinx, so much damage, 60% crit chance, and another opportunity for the Croc to finally get back into this game.
I don't think that the Crocodile... Oh, the Crocodile does get the kill. Crocodile Coney does find that kill. They're going to look to transition this into a top lane snowball power take too. Mukau, if I were you, I would run away because this tower might have a full health bar, but I promise you
Whoa.
it does not. Um,
Look at the grubbies.
I think he has realized that. All the grubbies will be falling here shortly. It will be the season. This is coming down, and it's a double knockup from the rock slide. Going forward, though, mid lane Coney able to trade out onto the 80 carry. At least the Snoop Dogg is trying to 1v2 against the Crocodile Nautilus. It's coming up a little bit short. Unable to find the kill there, as this should be a shutdown going over to DK carried on this Dahlia. Very interesting rip round placement. I guess they were trying to 65.
Yeah, maybe, but either way, Jack's going to be jumping on the Shinzao. Not going to be able to get too much more going over there, but I mean, that's the power of the Vi Talia that we were talking about earlier, right? That's also one of the reasons why I was a little bit surprised to not see the Storm Razor coming out from King Coney here. Instead, it's just going to opt for more damage, right? That's honestly, once you reach a certain point, it makes sense, right? Where it says, you know what, no matter how defensive I can possibly build, I am in danger. I'm going to not get a chance to play this game. I'm going to just, be in a lot of trouble. So why not just do the damage when I can, where I can? Just build damage on damage on damage here. And that's one of the things that's one of the schools of thought that we've seen before. And that's the one that we're seeing right now. Right? I mean, that's just triple damage items, no defensive whatsoever, until now we have that Vamp Scepter coming out from the Jinx, and whether or not that's going to stick as a Vamp Scepter or turn into a full-blown Bloodthirster or Shield Bow, is a completely different question. Right? Meanwhile, Vladimir in this top lane could be in trouble.
Breaker ends up missing. Mid Coney is fighting back with as much pressure as possible. It is a super mega death rocket that landed onto Humphreys. Mid Coney does a ton of damage there coming out of the puddle. Snoop Dogg still trying to clean up this mid laner, but the lifesteal is just too much. Meanwhile, top Coney is just running it down in the base. The game might be over right here, right now, Anti. There's a wave coming in. The inhibitor has been slain too. All of the members are getting aced. I think this is just an end game angle if I ever saw one. Those Void Grumblings are going to be respawning as the tower gets hit here. And this is just absolute clinical textbook play coming out from Mario Kart 7 with another high damage comp. Iceborn, they're having very strong early games, but the late games, I'm telling you, you think you're beating this team, but you're not.
Yeah, Omega Mario Kart 7 just going to continue in that lead there. And 6 Void Grubs with a Jinx means that any of those mid-game fights means you lose so much. And for the side of Iceborn this time around, it meant they lost their Nexus. So 2 games up, Omega Mario Kart 7 only looking stronger in these later games in the series. So if game number 2 gave us 25 minutes or something like that, game number 1 27, 25, can we go for 23? Only time will tell. Game number 3 is coming soon, so don't go anywhere, and make sure to catch the end of the series, whether or not that's going to be with the next game or if we see Iceborn take that first game off of Mega Mario Kart 7 and try to stage that comeback.
was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile. I was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile. Some days there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Some days I'm not myself, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Moving on, moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Some days there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Some days I'm not myself, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. Eh. You see it through. You see it through. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We gonna live forever, forever. The talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a
All right, everybody, welcome. Game number 3. Is this going to be a quick 3 and out? Who knows? I think I don't know. We were told there was a substitute. But I only see King Conies, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, only time will tell whether or not anything actually particularly changes, right? Meanwhile, the draft still looking pretty dang similar, right? I mean, we're taking away the Hue, we're probably going to be taking the Draven, maybe the Poppy, right? And the Fiora and Rengar already going to be taken away by Ice here. All right, there's that Draven. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Poppy taken away at the end. Meanwhile, Ice right here, it is the Vladimir. Okay, another one of those kind of niche picks there that ended up working out super well. Going to be taken away there, trying to make sure that there's pretty much no chance of that. But here we go. Meanwhile, Jinx actually going to be taken away by Omega Mario Kart 7. So the Azir is going to be what Ice picks up as their very first pick here. So Azir, honestly, it's a decent way to deny from King Coney in that mid lane, but the Yone instantly gonna get slammed down, one of this mid laner's most prized picks. Meanwhile, the Zeri, there is so much Zeri on this patch. I mean, I'm not sure if she just got buffed or something. I wasn't quite able to watch that, but you know, the Zeri going to be picked again and again, and the Kai'Sa as a response. I love Kai'Sa as a champion. I think she's an okay pick into Zeri, not exactly a counter pick by any means, but once again going to be falling back onto Fake Smiles Rel here, you know, one of those comfort picks, and a very good pairing with that Kaisa.
So Zeri wasn't touched. As we know, Smolder and Senna were really were aggressively nerfed. So could have just propelled her up, as well as the Navorian IE system buffs. They had a couple adjustments and they get buffed. So that kind of probably is what propels her. I mean, the thing about Zeri is she's never really good or bad. She's always just kind of like up and down, up and down, up and down. You buff one thing, she's hyper good. You buff a different thing, she's not played. Like
I think that Zeri's honestly pretty much always in that spot of she's either turbo broken or turbo int.
See, what I'm trying to get at is like, no matter what, she will always return to being the meta. Like you can, if something gets buffed, she comes back into the meta. If something gets nerfed, she leaves the meta, and then that thing that was the meta over her gets buffed or nerfed, and she's back.
Yeah, but I mean, either way, the Talia this time getting picked up by Omega Mario Kart 7. It's like they're stealing Ice's draft almost here, but I mean, that means that it's likely going to be the jungle pick saved towards the very end to try to deny Snoop Dogg some of that strength there. It is going to be the Graves pickup here. I'm not too surprised to see that. You know, Graves and Vi, two of the most picked champions that Snoop Dogg's been playing. And there is that tank Rek'Sai top I was talking about a few games ago. So, I mean, for those who are unaware, tank Rek'Sai top, unbelievably obnoxious, right? So, I mean, we're gonna round it out with the Jax, but I gotta put you on this real quick. So, tank Rek'Sai top. The way how it works is you get a little bit of poke down, you know, you trade a little bit back and forth, right? Very standard, right? You got grasp, you're gonna be healing off of each of these, and you walk, and once you finish those trades, you go back into the ground, you heal everything off of your fury, you leave the ground, you get some fury back, you go back. It's just constant, it's obnoxious, there's so much healing, and Rek'Sai just, you know, slowly does enough damage to the point where it's always going to be an issue. Now, into a champion like the Yone, I'm not 100% sure if she still has the same amount of, you know, full on sustain there to justify the grass pick. You might be able to see a phase rush, right? So that way you can go for those super quick and easy trades in order to stay available there. But, you know, this Rek'Sai top has been absolutely taking over solo queue, so I like the fact that I'm Bad You're Awful has decided to pick this one up before the nerfs have gone through and before a lot of people have played against it, right? You know, it's a very niche pick here, and I love to see it come to fruition.
We're gonna see it on the Rift here shortly, as we're just now headed into that. But you know, it's last game. We're sitting on against a team that's on match point. Why not pull it out? If it's been devastating solo queue and you've been rocking it, why not try? You know, it's you're at match point. Worst you can do is win the match. You win the map. That's like, you can win the map, or you pull it out, it doesn't work, you lose. You're on match point. Might as well go full balls to the walls. As I say that, this is interesting coming out from Mid-Coney. Probably a fight you don't want to be taking. Mid-Coney is going to be coming in to help up with the backup. And that little bug is going to be scurrying around the map ever so devastatingly. And I cannot wait for it.
I mean, the tremor sense means that it's pretty dang hard to sneak up on that Rek'Sai here. So, you know, I don't know. This Rek'Sai pick is something that I think is so cool to see. But the fact that it stays relevant after the patch went through makes me very sad, because I think that played properly, it is so unbelievably non-interactive. I genuinely think that this could be a really, really big pick throughout the playoffs, right? So this champion, you know, her entire deal is I walk up to you, I trade, I go back into the ground, and I win the trade because I will heal everything. It's like if Pyke in a lane was back, right? But now tanky for some reason.
I mean, don't speak that into fruition, please, Anti.
I mean, look at this. Look at this in the top lane. I mean, that is a fleet footwork Jax and still getting out sustained here. Meanwhile, Snoop Dogg out pressuring King Coney in the jungle. I mean, there's a reason why Snoop Dogg has picked so much Graves over this season because, you know, the man's good at it.
You know, I'm also very interested with the Talia jungle pick. Not really something that's been being played. She's been a little bit more prioed towards the mid side as things like Fi, Graves, and like, you know, Xin Zhao are still a bit more predominant in that jungle, whereas mages, you know, got that mid lane scaling to come online. So I'm interested to see where Jungle Coney can come online with this Talia jungle. Not that you can't play it, because you definitely can. I'm just saying, like, she's had a little bit more of a prio in the mid lane recently. But maybe they just want mid lane Coney to scale up and win. You know, he's been one of their win cons, and now they want to put him on a champion. Well, it just gets, once he gets, you know, 3 items, you essentially don't kill him, and he just one taps half of you. Meanwhile, Snoop Dogg is going to be caught out in the jungle. It'll be top Coney coming down, forces the flash out. It's not going to get the stun off, but the Rockslide knockup is going to get first blood over to jungle Coney, and rightfully so, after Snoop Dogg has been invading the heck out of her.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so much that, you know, DK Karen and I'm Bad Your Awful have been trying to make happen in this game, while Snoop Dogg just, you know, runs around the entire map, you know, just continuing that Graves pressure, but this time steps a little bit too far, going to be getting punished super hard for that one, and that's going to be rough here as the Talia with 2 stacks on the Dark Seal. The fact that it was after Jungle Coney had picked up that Dark Seal is a huge deal here. That means extra AP for the clear, extra AP for these ganks, and, you know, just like that, this could be a bit rough here, but in the meantime, you know, Ice have 2 ridiculously strong scaling lanes. I mean, you've got the Rek'Sai, you've got the Azir, 2 double drafts using all things.
Yeah, mid lane Coney caught out here. Going to be potentially dead. The flash, the empowered Q, not enough range there. He barely gets out with his life as top Coney is going to run straight into a Rek'Sai knockup, gets that stun off. She's not going to go underground just yet, but will now. There was a rock slide knockup on the Snoop Dogg, who has little to no HP after that mid side gank. The Grand Entrance is going to be able to get dashed away as mid Coney coming in for cleanup kill potential, as it will be an ignite. Take that proxy. What?
Oh!
And he lives?
Yeah, I mean,
What?
there it is. It's going to be the Comfort picks versus the new meta picks, and Comfort comes out on top. Comfort is king. And just like that, that early kill for Jax could be huge here. Mega Mario Kart 7 going off to a very strong start. It's a few oversteps bit by bit from Snoop Dogg, and I mean, it seems to really be just working against them here. You know, constantly trying to make something happen. And Mega Mario Kart 7 are just going to continue on this onslaught. It might be falling behind a little bit, as, you know, it's not going to be King Coney as the AD carry, but Rapid Fire on that Zeri here. So, you know, when you lose a little bit of that power of friendship, you know, maybe Ice have a shot here.
I was just thinking about that, Anti. Does the King Coney buff work like the Void Grubs? You need full 5 stacks for it to come online.
I mean, I'd argue that it is like Void Grubs, where, you know, if you have 1 less than the maximum amount of stacks, you're honestly still doing fine, right? I mean, Omega Mario Kart 7 managed to punch their ticket into the #1 seed of the season, not dropping a single game. And that's with, you know, multiple times where they were not named King Coney throughout the entirety of the team. I mean, the last time we casted these people, the jungler's name was still Riddy.
It's true, yeah, they were not full 5 King Conies at that time. But mid King Coney looking for a solo dolo, Oh, able to find that as, oh no, that might be a mistake from the Void Queen there. She's going to be able to get out though in the nick of time. The Grand Entrance is going to be able to knock up on the Snoop Dogg. It comes over the Fate Sealed mid. Cody looking for first blood of the match. Can they pick it up though? Nope, it will be sniped away from Jungle Coney once again. A little bit struggling to get this mid laner online. Only have to boots at this stage of the game. Really could have potentially had that first item, but that was going to be enough dashes and enough mobility for them to get out and not going to get caught up in the cleanup.
Yeah, and there's just so much gold for the side of Omega Mario Kart 7 right now. I mean, Rapid Fire's kind of being left alone on an island for a little bit, as, you know, Humphreys is going to continue to farm up on this Kaisa. You've got the call available. Meanwhile, top lane, right, this Rek'Sai pick not quite working out as well as hoped for. I mean, I've been talking this up, but right now it just seems like King Coney is just playing so well against this Rek'Sai. No matter how much healing you have, it's not going to matter depending on how strong your opponent's trading patterns have been.
I agree with you there, Anti, but you know, the game is not here just yet. Top Coney, one more! Oh, unable to find it. Doesn't have the flash this time to go for the tower dive, but maybe this Iceborn team, do they have the HP bars to go for this dragon? Yep, they are going to get it and get out for free, unfortunately. There, Mario Kart 7 still yet to find that objective. And this game, actually, you don't have either of the objectives at the beginning of the game. And as you said that, there's the top side kill for the Void Queen herself. As coming over the wall, Rapid Fire maybe trying to get a pick off onto a Humphreys. So it'll be the Weaver's Wall coming out to maybe get that good old cleanup. Snoop Dogg is going to be forced to flash away. The rock slide stun as he tries to dash out. And Rapid Fire is able to find that one. First blood of this bot side lane. But as I was saying, this game is a little bit different, Anti, because Omega Mario Kart 7, usually they get the Void Grubs, you know, and Iceborn, they go up like two dragons. But this time, they don't have a single objective.
Yeah, I mean, you could sit back and say like, haha, jungle diff, but you also look at the tab menu and there's just so much gold on Omega Mario Kart 7's team coming from that jungle, right? Look at that. Like, so much of the time, right, Omega Mario Kart 7 are looking for ways how to put gold into their pockets over and over and over again. And usually, that's from picking up Void Grubs, picking up Tower Plates, right? But now it's just through farm. Like, look at this. Like, there's so much farm, so many kills as well, right? A 5 kill difference here, leading to a almost 3k gold difference. And meanwhile, in this top lane, I mean, Rek'Sai just going to continue to be a problem here for the Jax. Is, you know, just gonna hop on out here, get back into the ground, heal on back up, and, you know, Rek'Sai damage again and again.
For sure. Fate Sealed's going to be coming up. It's going to be flashed away from D-Carrot. And there's a good old Grand Entrance knock up into the Talia. This is Jungle Coney able to find that one. The Ignite's going to be coming down onto this Yelm though, so it should be traded out. But it hasn't been. And the Yelm gets out with absolute murder there. As it will be another kill going over to this Jax. So it'll be 2-1. Should be able to finish an item here shortly with the next back. I was just trying to keep this Rek'Sai away from being able to stop these Void Grubs from being taken up. Maybe looking for a little bit of an all-in themselves. Not going to get stun off as the Void Tunnelers will come out. And it'll be back to just farming.
Yeah, I mean, the Rek'Sai top just playing exactly how it is that they want. I mean, it's the same thing as Udyr top, right? Where, you know, once the team fights come around, the most that you're going to be really getting from this pick is as an aggro tank, right? But in terms of the rest of the game, it's relatively similar to solo queue, right? There's a few champions in League of Legends where I think you could argue that the way how they translate between solo queue and, you know, competitive play go very, very smoothly. Rek'Sai's one of them. Udyr is one of them in the top lane where, you know, their only plan is the same thing as if it were in solo queue here. Meanwhile, right now, the plan is survive.
Yeah, that one is going to be a little bit difficult with a 3-0 Talia on the other side. But already got that Haunting Thesis and 10 Dark Souls X. Flash Magnus is going to come down. It's a good quickness. It's going to be a charm up that Kaisa. Rapid Fire did not respond with an ultimate of their own there. So maybe thinking that they could live for now. The Weaver's Wall is coming in for a mid-side gank. But is it a little bit too late? Mid-Coney is already a quarter of HP. Bait Seal not online, but Snoop Dogg isn't online either as he's sent back to the gray screen. And they're trying desperately to shut down this Yone. And you might as well throw him to the bot lane in place of Gore because he's got 6 assists.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Not just 6 assists on the mid lane, 10 stacks on a Dark Seal for Jungle Coney here. Meanwhile, bot lane, no matter what it is you do against Rapid Fire and support Coney, is so difficult to actually lock these two down.
I agree with you there. Humphreys not going to have that Noon Quiver like Rapid Fire does too, so if a fight does break out once these ultimates hit, it's going to look deadly for the side of Iceborn's bot side. I was expecting a top turret dive there happening, but they're going to opt not to go for that. Triforce was online for top Coney, but they're not going to go for that angle just yet. Instead, opting for it when she has a chance to tunnel out. A little interesting there.
I mean, it's almost impossible to deny it from her, right?
I mean,
especially because, like, I mean, look at this right now, right? If you were to try to stun I'm Bagger Awful right now, you can literally just click on the tunnel to tunnel out and then E again. Like, there's a reason why I think this pick is genuinely so unbelievably busted, but right now, they're busting through the jungle.
This is going to come
big
down.
fight.
Not really able to find up much of anything charmed up, but that's the only ulti used there so far in that fight. No one else proccing any of their own, as it will be a topside, another solo bolo potentially going to Imbad. That's going to Imbad to Alpha as a mid lane potential all in. No, not looking for that one under the turret. The jungle monster of the dragon. Yes, that's what I was definitely milling for, brain. Will be taken by Iceborn, so much like the first 2 games, they're going up 2 dragons and will be on the next one for Soul Point, just like those previous games.
Yeah, I mean, right here, you can see the Rek'Sai is starting to pay off here. Has the fully completed Sunfire Cape. Starting to get a little bit stronger bit by bit. It's so difficult to contest on that top side. But, you know, if you're playing top lane right now, you hit the tab button and you're like, man, my teams. And then you realize, oh, wait, I'm in a call with them. This is competitive play here. You know, I believe in you guys. We can do this, right? Because that's 2 kills on the Rek'Sai, which is cool and all. That is 100% of your team's kill participation, and they are both solo kills here. Right now, you know, Rek'Sai, once again, going to be trading, and so little that Jax can do here. Like I said, right, you know, I've been talking it up. This Rek'Sai's broken.
Yep, and we're going to see how just broken she is later on when she has that free tank and is in a 5v5 with the team. It's just going to be a little bit of support trade out in that bot side jungle. So many tunnels in the lane. Absolutely crazy. 4-0 Talia just finished up that Leandries. The Bork has come online for a mid-Coney. Could have been 4-0 and had the 3rd item online. It will be Jungle Coney going for the gank with the Weavers while they flash forward to predict the tunnel. And that kill will be going over to Jungle Coney. And Mid Coney trying to get cleanup onto DK Carrot. Should be able to find that. Probably not traded out under the tower because of Bork healing. So that item is going to help him get online and get a lot more kills to further this lead. This jungler, 5-0. Top Coney with a 3-level lead. Looking to jump onto the jungler there too of Snoop Dogg, almost killing them, but not finding the angle just yet. You gotta be careful, Graves. He can jump right back onto you and kill you just like that. You might have the damage, but just one more auto attack and you were gone.
Yeah, I mean, collateral damage comes on in, still not going to be able to net that kill here. Look at this, the flash forward going to be able to pick it up, but finally there's a kill for Iceborn. That isn't the Rek'Sai getting a solo kill, but King Coney gonna take that one right on back. No matter how many King Coneys you kill, there is always another. Meanwhile, bot lane, you know, Rapid Fire just gonna continue to try to push down this tower as much as possible with their support Coney. I mean, there's a Coney for every single corner of this house. You know, you got top, you got mid, you got support, you got jungle. You know, anywhere you look, there is only more Coney.
Yeah, I'm gonna have nightmares about this team later on into the future. So, just saying, Mario Kart 7, my therapist will be hearing from my therapist later on. I wake up in the middle of the night just screaming Coney. But yeah, this game a little bit back and forth. Topside Coney going to be popping that Grandmaster in arms, but just look, there's nothing you can do. He just runs away. She just runs away, and it's kind of honestly, if I had to play against this anti, I would be tilted because the fact
You see
that
the vision.
no, I'd be tilted not because like I can't. I'd be tilted because I can't kill it, not because like.
Look at this
oh,
healing.
I don't care. Like I don't care to heal so much. Eventually, you can build enough damage to where you can do enough damage that it can't heal. Eventually, like all this, but like the fact that you time and outplay them perfectly for a good engage, and then they just run away instantly for free. That's what would trigger me.
Well, I mean, if they're running away for free, it's not. You're not outplaying them. That's just the matchup. Anyway, goodbye.
So you're telling me, right? If you time it perfectly for you to hit it all in perfectly, like example.
And your
they-
opponent still
like-
has their escape up.
Like they eat 3 turret shots, right? While after like forcing you under the tower, and then like you hit a perfect all-in ult, stun, flash, everything comes out, and all they do is just whoop and disappear. I wouldn't trigger you.
What I'm hearing is, so you time an all in, your opponent still has their escape up, and they use their escape. That's not a perfect all in.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know how to explain it because, like, you know, they're not going
Anyway.
to use it. They're not going to use it. Like, they could
Explanations
just
aside.
Yep, Quickness is coming out. It's going to try and deny DK Carrot and Empress Prime, but it will be coming down anyways. The Basil's going to get a double knock up, and that's 3 members falling instantaneously there in the bot side. They were able to trade out at least 1, but that was the support member that died. Not one of the 3 that have a shutdown.
Yeah, so, I mean, yes, now you've got 4 kills for the side of Ice here. Soon to be 17 kills for the side of Omega Mario Kart 7 here. And team is just looking to do a victory lap at this point because look at this. Almost a 10,000 gold lead. Just 19 minutes in, not even 20 yet, going to be able to pick up that objective bounty. So, you know, just gonna reduce it so you're not gonna hit 10k just yet, but still, this is so rough. I mean, if you are Ice here, if you're just trying to find some way to crawl back into this game, but it's looking more and more undoable as the game goes on. Meanwhile, Humphreys, you know, picking up a very interesting build here. I love the, you know, Manamune into Ludens, though. You know, you're probably only going... Can we hover over Humphreys? Be right after this fight, actually, as, you know, once again, more fights going on in the jungle, and they just do not stop.
Yeah, no, they don't stop. That's what this Mario Kart 17 does. Rapid Fire able to flash all way there, but it will be the Rek'Sai coming in, trying to get some cleanup under the AD carry. Rapid Fire is still alive and barely ends up falling there, but it will be now Kaisa popping an ultimate, coming into the backside, able to trade out at least 2 kills in that fight. The support and AD carry have fallen, but those are the 2 that arguably aren't the most impactful for this team. It would be a clean, almost ace. PK Carrot from the other side cleaning up the bot lane turret if you can find that one, but I honestly drop that Rift Tail, go start the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, you know, no Rift Herald babysitting necessary. Just going to be everyone on this Baron here. Everyone's going to be alive for this as well. Going to be able to pick up as much as possible. The objective bounty going to go over to I'm Bad, You're Awful for some reason. I mean, you know, it's the classic. Meanwhile, I want to get a hover over Humphreys. If this is done properly, then Kaisa should have a fully leveled W here. Meanwhile, you know, the fight right here, trying to make sure we never get a chance to see the Kaisa. But here we go. Shutdown going through. Snoop Dogg going to be able to pick up yet another kill here. And it is not the fully leveled W. Okay, so usually right here we would see the elixir of skill come into play here, and the level 10 fully max W. But I mean, either way, it works out. It's a matter of not opting for 5 points into your queue, and instead only opting for 4. And I mean, right here, no matter how many points you got in your queue, you're not saving your support from that one. I mean, Fake Smile just in a world of hurt over there.
In this game, yeah, I mean, mid-lane Tony can just play that and get away with it. Rek'Sai is going to be coming in a little bit late, not aiming nearly enough to clean up that kill. Mid-lane turret will end up falling. And this game just feels like there's a 12k gold lead. Omega Mario Kart 7 has gotten 3 dragons in total this series. Instead of this game, they've gotten 3 dragons in total this series, proving that they really don't care for having Dragon Soul. They don't really need it to win. Humphreys is going to be popping that killer instinct to go over, but
No.
okay, the shutdown does come out. They are able to clean up mid-Tony. But yeah, Humphreys, that was looking very scary. I don't think this game is in... Okay, we're just watching for everything.
Oh my god.
I don't even know what to say at this point. I genuinely don't even know what to say. He hit 1 Q on the Fake Smile and didn't have to take it. The Empress of Light comes out way too early. They clean up the kill anyway, but there's a Jax in there. Gonna pop the Grandmaster of Arm. It's good for at least 2 here in this fight. Gonna be able to run down Fake Smile. Yep, finally cleans up that one. This is just looking sloppy. This is just sloppy all out. Omega Mario Kart 7 just says, hey, we're in a better spot than you, so whatever.
I mean, at this point on Mega Mario Kart 7, you know, they've got 26 kills at less than 24 minutes, right? So they're just taking their victory lap saying, you know what? We came in here first seed for a reason. We haven't dropped a single game just yet. Not a single one of these teams that has a chance at coming close to beating us. And, you know, Ice had so many opportunities, right? So many moments where they made us want to believe, right? But in the end, Omega Mario Kart 7 just coming in with such a strong team, such powerful, you know, decision making as a team here is what really led them to this dominance. Meanwhile, you know, mid-Tony could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Potentially, Fade's going to come down, but not going to find much of anything. Trying to trade out on the Humphreys, but will end up falling. I mean, there's a world where Iceborn can even out the playing field in this game. They've gotten mostly all the shutdowns except for the one onto Jungle Coney. So if they can clean up that one, put that onto Humphreys, get them another item online, they could see a bit of a turnaround in this game.
Yeah, and no killer instinct though. Meanwhile, Snoop Dogg going toe-to-toe with King Coney yet again.
I mean, this is just Talia damage. Like, what? I mean, I love Talia. I love Talia a lot. That damage is just for throwing a rock at somebody. I mean, might as well audition her for Avatar The Last Airbender. I mean, she could teach Holland how to use everything. I imagine Awful is going to be able to get a good knockup on the Fake Smile there. Going to be able to stop them from being able to take that Hextech gate to be able to get out. And the game has gone past 25 minutes now, so no early game, kind of like what you were wanting there, Anti. You said you wanted something like below 25
Maybe not
minutes.
wanting, but
I mean, this
been
game
anticipating.
Could have been over before 25 minutes, but I think Mario Kart 7 is just playing with their food at this point.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you see the Jax getting caught out a little bit, but I mean, that's 7 kills on a Jax, right? I mean, 7 kills, 3 items. It's particularly difficult to actually just fully keep the Jax from playing this game, as right now, you know, you got everything set up to make sure that King Coney and co are going to be able to run away with this one. Fate sealed in here, but just like that, Yone out of here.
Oh, it's going to be another rock slide. They want to get the shutdown. Okay, they got the Azir with the shutdown. Wrap it on, Snashers. This
Could stacks on a Dark Seal.
Yeah, this could be looking pretty scary. No more Dark Seal there for King Coney in the jungle. Only having 4 stacks online now. This, okay, the comeback.
That's
could
more
be
stacks than King Coney.
I know the comeback could be happening here. It's definitely possible. Like the game ain't over, so Iceborn could come back here.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I said that they made it so that way we really, want to believe. And right now, Iceborn trying to get us into a position where it's like, hey, it's not just a want. You totally can believe in us, right? I mean, this is definitely a team that you don't want to be sleeping on. And I've seen worse get thrown from, some very strong players, right? I mean, whether or not you're from, LCK, LCS, LEC, wherever you are in the world, every league game is throwable. So, speaking of which, here's one great way how to throw it. Let's go, Baron.
Oh yes, the Baron is going to go ahead and be started now. There is enough damage to burst this down. For this team fight, it's a 5v5. An ace for the side of Mario Kart 7 on the enemy team could solidify this game. Mid Cody going in first. Fake smile, no HP. The Baron has already fallen. Iceborn maybe trying to run down some kills. That's a lot of W damage on to support King Coney. But both teams are just going to opt to run away. No, Iceborn, they want to chase. They want to get kills. They've got nothing to lose. And the game is in their hands of Mario Kart 7. It's a huge fate seal. The Magnustorm not finding much. A double stun knockup from Talia. He's going to get a quadra kill for this top lane. Coney's running down the Penta, the Rek'Sai. Can they find it? The recall, can he stop it? There's a no. Cannot stop the Rek'Sai. No pentakill this game.
Still has teleport.
I mean, he could. Nah, he's not going for it.
I mean, you've got 14 seconds till Rel respawns. Still technically doable here, but right now, just looking to walk down that mid lane, not looking to make anything too crazy. All right, you got 5 seconds. No, this is basically.
No, it's impossible.
It is a tank Rek'Sai.
Yeah, it's definitely impossible. They don't want to play for the funny. And they don't want to go for that. That's a massive Shattering Strike knockup combo. That's like insane CC stun up there. It's like all what you wanted from your Rel there. If you wanted. But oh no, Rapid Fire did get a kill, so there's no chance of the Pens happening here from topside Cody. But another Quadra can come down. But nope, the Nexus will be able to stop that. No Pentas, no nothing like that will be coming out this game. Although there were many opportunities for them.
Yeah, I mean, no Pentas, no Quadras. But
Oh,
there is a triple here, the triple Nexus finish for Omega Mario Kart 7 right at the end, a 3-0 clean sweep. This team still has not dropped a single game, and to kick off playoffs to see our favorites going in strong in playoffs is definitely a good sign to see here. So that will be it for us over here. So thank you so much for watching. I mean, tune in next week not next week. Tune in a little bit to check out the interview as we check in with Omega Mario Kart 7 to see how our winners fare.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, please work. There we go. One. Welcome everybody. My name is Northward, the producer for tonight's stream. With me, I've got the OG Coney, Top Coney, and Rapid Fire from OMK7. You guys took an absolutely dominant 3-0 in today's series. I mean, overall, just first thoughts on those games. You know, what are your guys' thoughts on that? How is it to take that 3-0 and move on?
It was expected. Not much about it. I knew we weren't going to drop a game.
Okay, short and sweet. I know. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, for me, I got subbed in for game 3. Lonely messaged me saying, "Hey, we're gonna win the first 2, and then we'll bring you in." And then that's what happened.
Okay, so I'm normally the producer for the different leagues, so I haven't really seen Immortals. I've been told that you guys have not yet dropped a single game all season. You know, are you guys obviously you continue that tonight? Are you guys going to continue that next week? Like, are you looking at next week like, oh man, this might be the first time we drop a game?
No. Well, we played against the I don't know who did the results come out yet for that series.
I
Is it
would have
set
to
in stone?
check.
Okay, well, regardless, we played against both teams, didn't drop a game, obviously, and they weren't ever close.
Okay.
I think there's Top Lane Kingdom. I have to play like, you know, my like 8th best champ, and then they could play against me.
Oh,
You know how it
okay.
is.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, okay, so the question I was about to ask is, like, what were the key factors? But I think you just told us it was all top gap.
No, I mean, no. We had our bot lane that played really, really well. I mean, we're a good team. Like, we also play in Aegis, if you know about Aegis.
Yeah.
We played in AML, and I think we dropped a single game in that, but no series. And we're in playoffs, still dropping only one game in regular season.
Amazing. Okay.
We're playing really good.
No, that's awesome. I mean, so I mean, if you had to shout somebody out for this series, who are you shouting out? Who's the carry?
I don't know, man. We Lone Rouge Beast, Wistfully played really well. I'm sorry. Jungle Coney and Bot Coney played really good. But I mean, you can't put any because Mid Coney and Support Coney also played really good. So I think we're just beasts as a team, and as a team alone, I don't see any particular performance. Even when the records might not look good, you know, we're all doing our part. So
Yeah.
shout out to the whole team.
Amazing. No, that's awesome. So, I mean, was this something where you guys were just going into this game going, we've got our strategy, we're gonna do that strategy, or is there some of that like response to, you know, what Ice was showing? I know we saw, like, you know, they took the Zeri and then you guys took the Zeri. So is there any of that where it was like countering what they did?
We definitely talked about certain picks, like for example, our bands changed every game a little bit. Like we knew like we were like, oh well, if they pick this ADC. The only one we didn't really expect, I guess, was game 1 on the Draven, and he was pretty strong. So thank God we shut him down before he got out of control. But I think the drafts kind of went like how we thought they would. We kind of our only response picks were the only thing I also didn't expect Rek'Sai top.
Yeah.
I've been playing since the new patch, really. I didn't really know about it. I just seen it like once, and I was like, it can't be that good. Turns out it's pretty good. Turns out
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, that looked absolutely infuriating when you're trying to trade into it, and it's like, oh, avoid the E. Dodge the E with the ult. Oh, just yeah.
Yeah, it's not even too bad. I think the crazy part about it is how much he heals.
Yeah.
He heals like a ton of max HP, but that's besides the point. I mean, listen, they they're good players. Some of them are friends of mine, so we knew they'd be decent. But I mean, obviously, as you guys saw in the stream, if it ever looked close, come mid game, we took control real quick.
Absolutely, gotta exert that dominance. So, I mean, obviously, I think this whole interview has just exuded the confidence that you and your team has. I mean, is there any special preparation or anything you guys are gonna focus on going into next week's series?
Hey, job's not finished. Keep driving.
Yeah, of course. I mean, so then last thing, anything you wanna say to the fans, the viewers out there? Anything else for tonight?
I hope Dorado wins, cause I gotta show Rocket who his father is again. You know.
Of course. Rapid, anything from you?
Well, I just want to shout out the people on the team I played for: Lonery, Wistfully, Coney, just basically all the Conies, and my child Humphreys for getting the dub. That was enemy bot laner. You're trash.
Okay. I think I got to see a little bit of that trash talk from and going into Game 3 lobby, so that was very enjoyable.
Oh
But
yeah.
but no. So congrats again to you guys. Moving on to next week. So if that is it, I think that is it from us for tonight. So to echo our casters, we will be back next week, I believe. This isn't my normally scheduled time, so I actually don't know when the next one is. I'm imagining it's next week though. But that will be it for us tonight. Congrats again to a dominant 3-0 for OMK7, and good night, everybody.